Alright guys, Professor Silva here again. Today I want to show you how to relocate one user from one workstation space to another. Right now we're in the server room, which is basically where all these cables lead up to. So what I'm going to do for you is basically explain to you the relationship between those network jacks that you see on the wall, what's in this rack here, the important part about what does the actual network switching, and then also we're going to go ahead and actually switch somebody's workstation from one place to another here today and confirm connectivity. Let me start with the basics. You may have seen this rack from a previous video, but basically up here we've got a bunch of patch runs. These are also called horizontal cables or horizontal runs, local network runs, whatever you want to call it. But essentially around the entire office here, all of the network cables all come together into one room, and that room is actually here. So you can see above, I'll just pan up a little bit, so you can see up on top this cable tray. All these cables basically come down here and they go to the back of each one of these ports. So effectively on the wall, what you're going to have is a bunch of network ports listed, say in this case 1 through 144, and they all come back here. So basically that's what these are up here, right? When you see the port number listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., that's essentially everything here. It's just a cable that goes from a little, like what you click into the wall, they all come back here, and the numbers are associated on the wall with what's run here, and every cable is of course digitally tested. What you see next is these cables going down here into the switch. So this switch is actually powered up, and this device is actually what switches your network traffic. So when you have a cable that you want to plug in, or you have a workstation, excuse me, you want to plug in, you plug into the wall, and let's say it's port number 2 or 3 or something like that. So you'll plug in port number 3 here, use a patch cable, and you connect it down to a switch. Now because basically everything connects to this switch, as long as you're able to complete the connection from that port number down to this switch, then it allows that computer connecting in the wall. The cable goes all the way back over this tray here into the back of the patch panel, comes out over the patch cable into the switch, and then it can communicate with all the other devices. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and bring you guys over and switch a cable, and I want to show you. So just before we begin here, I just want to show you that this is the actual patch cable setup up here, right? All the cables come in here. You'll notice not all of them are plugged in. That's because we don't need to, right? Not every single port is in use on the wall, so we don't want to necessarily patch everything in. That's a cost consideration. You can, you just don't have to. Here in the middle, this is powered up. These are just more patch cables. This is another switch. This is more another patch panel here. And this is a fiber optic cable that links up to the 17th floor. We're on the 4th floor right now. And I'll bring you guys in more detail on that later. There's a separate video. Anyway, so let's not hesitate. I'm going to bring you guys over here, and then we're actually going to go ahead and switch a workstation. Okay, so here we have a workstation, right? You can see this here. Down here you can see there's a set of ports on the wall, and for those of you guys that can't see it, you can see here this says port number 156, and this is port number 155. So what you'll notice is that there's a phone, right? And the phone here is, on, right? Everything's plugged in, it's working. What I'm going to do, sorry, that was a screensaver that went off. So as an example, if I just toggle this, right? Okay, now I've just activated the phone, it's on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this, and let's say that we're going to move this person to a new location, and this is the cable that they're using for their internet connection. What we're going to do is we're actually going to relocate this to another port. So we were on port 155. Up here, we're going to relocate it to 156. I mean, realistically, this port could be anywhere, right? It could be somewhere halfway around the building, different floor entirely. But this is number 156. Now, importantly, you'll notice here the phone does not actually power up, right? Nothing really happens here. Phone's basically offline. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys back into the server room here, and I'm going to show you that up here we were at port 155, right? So if I find port 155 here, okay, so there you go, right? So this is where we were. Let's see if I can bring this in and show this to you guys. So remember before I showed you we were on port number 154? Okay, that's right here. Hope you guys can see that clearly. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over, but before I do that, I just want to point out, if you can see up here port number 32, right, you can see there's really nothing lit up over here. There's no, see if I can get a clear view of that, right, so there's really no lights up there. That's because this patch cable here is not plugged into anything at this point, right? So I'm going to move this from port 154. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to move this over to, what did I say, port 154, right? Is I think what I said. So now we're going to check up on top, and actually, sorry, I think it was port 156. My mistake. Sorry guys, it's been a very long day. And now, yep, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but did you see up here how port number 32 lit up? Okay, so now this is plugged into patch number 156. So now let's go back and let's see if that phone actually connected, because it definitely should have. And by the way, this is what most server rooms look like. Gotta clean that up. And here we go, right? So now you can see that it is actually, and it says it's initializing, please wait. And then that is basically right over here because we moved this cable from port 155 to port 156. So that's basically it. One other thing worth noting is sometimes on the backs of these phones, you can notice that there is a built-in switch, right? So I don't know if you guys can see this, but right below here, there's two ports. One says PC, the other one says Internet. And the reason for that is you can run that network cable and connect it into the back of the computer here, okay? So this network cable, actually, if we traced it, right, it goes from here all the way back over, and then it connects back up there, and that's going back into the PC port that you saw there before. So that's basically it. Let me take you guys through server room one more time. So that's basically all there is to it. So again, in a nutshell, all the cables come in, they run from this cable tray up here, right? They go down, basically end up over here. These cables are then patched in using these patch cables, so the smaller the better in this case, down to the switch. Switch provides connectivity out, and that's basically, oh, one last thing worth mentioning. This is a power over Ethernet switch, meaning that you saw when I plugged in the phone before, the phone just like automatically powered up. Reason for that is that this switch is capable of providing power to the phone in addition to data. That's a technology called PoE, power over Ethernet, something we can cover later. So anyways, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.